Hello, Leiden. As we have about 3 weeks of the school year left, I wanted to check in with some information and updates. Let me start with some amazing news. As of today, we've collected approximately $11,000 in the Leiden Cares Fund to support our local community. Patrick Hatfield and I will be working on getting that money distributed later this week so that it can start directly impacting the people and families all around Leiden. We are continuing to collect money, so if you haven't had a chance to participate, we're planning for a second distribution in a few weeks for whatever additional funds come in. Much of what we've been doing for the past month and a half has been very reactionary. Even with the experiences we had with e-learning, we've been in survival mode as we've adapted to this new reality. I believe it's now time for us to flip that switch from reaction to proaction. With the time left in this year, we need to maximize the learning opportunities we have with our students and help as many of them as possible move up to passing grades. In collaboration with the department chairs, Dr. Mandarino continues to update our grading document. We've taken the progress report data, and between teachers, counselors, and administrators, we've focused on outreach, support, and encouragement for our students that were failing courses. Last week, the governor put out Executive Order 29 that speaks to the world of education. Specifically, he said the following: the provisions of the Illinois School Code requiring the successful completion of certain courses as a prerequisite for receiving a high school diploma is suspended for 12th grade students who are unable to complete such coursework as a result of the suspension of in-person instruction due to COVID-19. That doesn't mean that every senior automatically gets to graduate, but it does mean that every senior who was on track to graduate on March 13th gets to graduate. We also need to apply some common sense and compassion for students who could possibly have brought grades up to a passing level based on where they were when this all began. Let's all give our students the benefit of the doubt when it comes to grades to help their ability to move forward when possible. Your department chair or building admin team can assist with any individual situations or questions that you have. So let's look a little further down the line. Summer school will be fully online this year, and all summer travel has been canceled. We need to shift our planning towards how we adapt our courses next year to account for content loss in our students' preceding courses. This will take the work of every department and every teacher as we process how to address the restructuring of certain courses for next year. We need to plan for what school might look like in the fall. In my email, I included links to several recent stories in the media. Over the weekend, the governor recommended that we plan for the possibility of continued e-learning or a blended approach when we come back in the fall. We don't know what any of that means yet, but we need to be prepared for whatever reality we encounter. In that spirit, I want to tap into the expertise of many of you. Dr. Mandarino and I will be scheduling focus groups with teachers to better understand what's been working, what hasn't been working, and how we can better support everyone during that sort of scenario. Listening to the medical professionals, we know that the start of the year may be impacted, and we might see a future flare-up of the virus. So we want to do everything we can to be ready if we need to move into this mode of education again. I also included a link from NPR outlining some thoughts on what it would take for schools to resume. If you read that article, it's hard to imagine living up to some of those expectations. For example, it suggests limiting students in a classroom to 12 at a time or considering staggered schedules, and there are many more recommendations there. We're reading all of these evolving recommendations and working closely with our professional networks, with our state and our national organizations. This is truly a situation where we are all better together when we combine our efforts. You can't watch the news these days without hearing about the economic impact of this virus on the state, on the country, and on the world. Leiden will be no exception to that. When you think about our funding, the vast majority comes from our local tax base and from state aid. Our local dollars are driven by property taxes. With businesses closed and individuals out of work, we're expecting a significant drop in tax collection. Our state dollars are fueled by income tax and sales tax receipts. With millions of people unemployed, they're not providing income tax revenue, and they're not shopping. All of this combined means that we're expecting a hit next year to our budget somewhere in the millions of dollars. That means we're going to need to be mindful of our spending and our budgets looking out towards 2021. I know the content of this video is a little heavier than some of my other messages. I included this content because I want you to know that we're looking into the future to understand where we are and where we're going. We're talking about how to continue feeding our students into the summer. We're talking about how the extended school year programming will look for students with special needs. We're talking about what driver's education will look like, what athletics will look like. And as you can guess, we have many more questions than answers right now, but we are working on it. So with all that said, thank you again, and as always, for the work that you're doing for our kids. Be safe and be well, everyone. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And just have a great day. Thanks.